this circulation, and then we're going to do lab 23 for today. All right, so this is what I just mentioned about the blood flow to the heart. And, you know, it's very nice and numbered and explaining all of the movements that take place. So it's letting you know, okay, blood enters. Blood has to go from right atria to right ventricle into my pulmonary trunk to the lungs, return back to my left atria, go to the left ventricle, out through the aorta into the systemic circuit. So I think this, actually I know, the image is in your textbook online. I can't remember if it's in the lab manual or not, but definitely be familiar with this movement. Okay, so be familiar with this picture and be able to answer questions about this. The other circulation that I've mentioned, all right, that we've talked about, is the coronary circulation. The coronary circulation, note that I'm trying to, I don't think this is a picture from your textbook. I think I found the picture somewhere else, but I could be wrong. I can't remember right now where I might have got it from. But what I'm trying to show in this slide and the next is how we have the artery, the arterial blood flow to the heart itself. So remember how we had that coronary sulcus, and I've been explaining how that holds the vessels. So if we look at the arterial blood flow, that's the oxygen rich, going to take the nutrients, all this sort of stuff to the heart tissues, okay? Now, our coronary circulation is referring only to the blood flow to the heart. So if you hear anybody talk about, well, the coronary circulation to the body, be sure to correct them, okay? Because coronary is referring only to the heart itself. So this blood flow that we're going to find takes place. It is going to be moving based upon that contraction of the heart. So when the heart beats, we'll get blood flow to the heart itself, and then we'll get return, just like we're seeing in other parts of the body. The circulation, what's going to happen? My aorta, see how they're trying to show it looking like it's got two little holes that might exist? And then this flow, these vessels coming off of it, this is what we get. We're going to have a left and a right coronary artery. So, you may hear people say, well, the heart attack occurred in the left coronary artery or the right. Once again, depending upon severity, will determine how the person survives, okay? But when they talk about left coronary, right coronary, that is what they're referring to. The right going to the right, left going to the left. Note, they begin to branch. And as they branch, we get branching to the anterior and the posterior of the heart. We're going to find what they call circumflex. Circumference, okay, meaning going around the heart. As it begins to go around the heart, we see that we are going to get branches to the sides, where we're going to eventually, from this arterial flow, it is going to eventually look like we've got those four branchings. that take place. Right, left, branch, 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 branch. Is that helping with some of this terminology? Circumflex, circumference, going around, anterior, posterior. Okay. Now, my right coronary artery supplies my right atrium, my SA node, and branches to the right margin, what looks like the side of the heart, and to the apex. Now, as we begin to have this branching that's going to take place, okay, we're going to get branching to the ventricles, but eventually it comes around and we're going to meet up and we're going to have coming to the left. So this would simply be the blood flow to those heart muscles, all right? So that blood flow to the heart tissues. That blood flow branches from my aorta, comes down, goes around, goes to the sides, goes to the sides, goes to the front, goes to the back. Is everybody with me so far? So now, if I have supplied blood to those heart tissues, it needs to return. Once we have the blood flow to the tissues, we're going to have blood flow back to the heart. So, coronary veins, okay? They call it coronary venous drainage, all right? Basically, some small amounts return to the chambers by way of thespian veins. So that means the actual chambers. Right atrioventricle, left atrioventricle, okay? However, for the most part, we have our great cardiac vein, this blue one going around, okay? So that blood is going to come back to the great cardiac vein, basically collecting from these arcs, the branching that's taking place. We're going to get it returned to my great cardiac vein, and it's heading towards my coronary sinus. The coronary sinus is just simply that hole, this opening that's going to be present. And once we get into the coronary sinus empties into the right atrium. In some pictures and in some models, they'll actually show an opening for the coronary sinus, but the blood returns from that coronary circulation to the right atria with the rest of the blood from the other parts of the body. Those arteries that we saw for the arterial flow, that's for the most part where blood flow will stop, leading to the heart attack. So depending upon where the blood flow actually stops, okay, will determine severity of that heart attack. Any questions about the coronary circulation? Okay. All right, so today in lab,